name is Albert Jackson, also known as J.J. Jackson. I'm an artist, a painter, sculptor. I'm currently in the class at, I gotta get this right because they say I'm gonna get it wrong. So, at the George W. Davis Senior Citizen Bayshore Community Center. I'm in a writing class, and this is another one, I gotta get it right. I'm in a writing class led by AfroSolo Thomas Robert Simpson, director, exclusive director of AfroSolo Theatre.
Yeah.
I was I was asked to write about something that made me feel good about what happened in my life. I had a classmate and she goes, you know, JJ, I like what you write, but you write sad. I never considered that. I just write my life. So I know this was gonna be hard. So, here I go. Early one Sunday morning, breakfast, Jerome, ma'am, boy, if you don't get out of that bed, you're gonna be late for church. So me and my 3 sisters and 3 brothers would stagger down the hallway to go to the kitchen, not for breakfast, but for heat. We would stand around the stove and one at a time, according to age, we would disappear and go into the bathroom to wash up. My mother would line up all the boys. I would always be sure at the end of the line, thinking maybe she'll forget how many kids she got, or she'll get tired. Oh, that was the sound of Vaseline. She would rub you down your face and your elbows and your knees. But that wasn't the sad part. The sad part is she had this comb. And she would hold your head about the forehead, and she would take that comb, and she would rake that comb from the back of your head to the front of your head. Right. That was the sound of the teeth of the comb coming out of your hair. I ain't got no hair, and I can still. A horn would blow and we would run out into this station wagon that was already filled with the pastor and his children and wife. And we would come off in there and everything, you know, we'd go bumping down the road and it seemed like it took forever. You know you were getting close to the church because the buildings quit coming. It was just tall grass and horses and cows. And this senior building that's sitting in the middle of nowhere, this concrete, cement stone building, I like to call it, because they didn't have no windows. It didn't look like a barn. It didn't look like a house. It definitely didn't look like no church. And you walked in, and they had these benches that had no backs to them. Big old pot-belly stone that sit right in the middle of the church. We really didn't do no good, but by the time it heated up, it was time to go home. But you walked outside, and there was this
3:26 p.m.
outdoor toilet, outhouse. I don't remember anybody ever going there. And the preacher was stored up. And the Lord said, I had developed a system where I could sit up straight and go to sleep. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I woke up. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it. And I saw Mother Pigeon. Mother Pigeon was this substitute teacher. She taught me, she taught my sister, my mother. I think she even taught my grandmother. She was that old. She had 2 gray braids that hang down both sides of her. She looked like a black mother goose. And she had that big old bag that she carried with her. So you was in school and you see Mother Pigeon coming down the hall. You said, oh Lord, that mother be coming to my class, because in her bag she had cookies and she had candy. But more than that, she had stories. She had stories. But there was Mother Pigeon, and she was laughing, and she was crying, and she was flapping her hands, and she was stomping her feet. And the people in the church, me and my brothers and sisters and pastor and his kids, I had never seen nobody dance in church before. And there was Mother Pigeon. I said, I want some of that. I want some of that. So when I went home, I went to our family spiritual advisor. That was Aunt Gladys. Aunt Gladys had 12 kids that she treated like little soldiers. She would have prayer meeting for the family and everything. She couldn't read with nothing. She would say stuff like, and the Lord said, big word. And he went into the valley of big word. But she told me, read the 100th Psalm. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord. Come before his presence and singing and dancing. So I went home and I told my mother, I don't want to go to your church no more. She said, oh, girl, when you going to somebody's church? So I went to church with Aunt Gladys. Now, again, it was a storefront. It didn't look like no church. It had the same benches with no backs on them. It had that big old pot-belly stove. But they had Sister Tucker. Sister Tucker was a big yellow woman, a powerful speaker. She started talking about somebody who loved me. Who loved me before I got here. Love? He loved me unconditionally. Now you got to take into consideration, I come from a family where you didn't show emotion. If you was happy, you didn't show you was happy. If you were sad, you didn't show you was sad. If you were getting your butt beat, bam, shut up. Bam, shut up. If you fell down and bruised your leg, you didn't show no emotions. But here I was in this church, and this lady was telling me somebody loved me. I had never heard that before. 8 years old. And I started to cry. I started to laugh. Ooh. And I started to cry. And I didn't care who saw me. I fell to my knees. And I grabbed a hold of that pot-potty stove, and I like to send it all around me, and I feel the glory of the Lord all around me. The preacher was still preaching. She was preaching about that angel named Gabriel. How he's sitting at the feet of God, and every now and then he look at God and he goes, Lord, can I blow it now? And God said, no, don't blow it now. Time passed. He goes, Lord, can I blow it now? I go, no. But one day, God is going to tell Gabriel to blow that horn. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but there was a train track that ran behind the church. And at that time, a train came by, and it go, woo, woo, woo. I didn't run. I crawled to the altar, and I gave myself to God. I felt the love in my heart. For the first time in my life, I was 8 years old, and I feel what it felt like to be loved. So you're sitting there, you're looking at me, I don't care. I don't care if you like my story, that you love me or not, because I know there's somebody that loves me, regardless